Basically, Sisters of India started in, fruition was in January 2023, and I did a Fabrics of India tour with Academy Travel, which is a tour company in Sydney. And the Fabrics of India tour, we had about 15 girls on the tour. We went to West Bengal and Gujarat. And in each of those states, we had local guides as well as the Academy Travel guide. And the tour was really about Fabrics of India, and it is just the most amazing place when you really go and have a look at their fabrics and how they're created and the history behind it. And the beautiful thing is that the Indian government is actually now really promoting a lot of those artisan industries to continue, whereas for a lot of years they weren't doing that. But they are now, which is really nice because it means that a lot of the little industries that are out in the countryside are now starting to survive a lot better than they were. And we saw all of that on this tour. When we went to Gujarat, which is the most western state of India, it's sort of totally different to West Bengal. West Bengal's tropical, green, lovely, very densely populated, but the real food bowl of India, whereas Gujarat is desert, salt plains, very sparse, but just totally contrasting. In Gujarat, our local guide was Nirav, and Nirav was fantastic because he's got such a great history of the country because he's been a tour guide for a long time. And he was telling us about a young lady who he had rescued from prostitution, whose parents had passed away during COVID, and lived in Nepal, and she was living with her uncle. And her uncle said to her one day, "How about I take you to Mumbai and I'll get you a job in Mumbai?" And she thought, "Oh, this will be good." So off she goes with him, and when he got to Mumbai, he sold her into prostitution, and then disappeared, obviously, back to Nepal. The handlers in Mumbai then moved her to Ahmedabad, which is the capital of Gujarat, which is where Nirav found out about what was happening with her. And with his policeman friend, they rescued her from prostitution in Ahmedabad, and the handlers were put into jail. And so then Nirav said to her, "Well, would you like to go back to Nepal?" And she said, "No, because if I do, then he will just send me somewhere else and do the same thing." And so then Nirav was left with this situation of, how is he going to look after this girl? Because as you know, most of India isn't terribly well off. And so anyway, what ended up transpiring was he put her up in accommodation and introduced her to a company, to an organisation called SEWA, S-E-W-A, which is a non-government organisation, and they teach people how to sew. So they taught her how to sew. And what she did was she started to create items out of recycled sarees, because there is a huge waste with recycled sarees, as there is with clothing all over the world. And so what he did was he set her up, taught her how to sew, and she was making the tote bags for shopping, and then started to make infinity scarves, which is basically a loop, and out of the recycled sarees. Anyway, Nirav was telling me one day on the tour about Suman and what was happening with her, and I said to him, "Give me your email address, send me an email so I've got your contacts," because I thought, when I come back to Australia, I might be able to sell a few of these bags. In the end, I thought, just send him an email, ask him to send 200 bags and we'll see what happens. So the 200 bags went like that, and I just thought, well, everybody was very excited about the bags, and I just thought, well, there is an opportunity here to support her. And so what transpired was I then decided to call it Sisters of India, because by that stage Nirav had found another girl who was in a similar situation, and so he had two girls. And I decided that I would set it up here, and I called it Sisters of India because I thought that's the sisters in India creating beautiful items out of recycled saris for the sisters in Australia.